Ever gone back and looked at someone's, like, really old social media and you're just like, wait, for real?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is that really them?
Totally.
But picture that, but it's like a million times more intense, and it's not just some rando you went to high school with. It's a politician running for governor.
Oh, juicy.
And we're not just talking about, like, some embarrassing party pick. We're talking about stuff that completely contradicts everything they're, like, basing their whole campaign on, which is exactly what we're diving into today.
Can't wait.
So, the guy in the hot seat this time, Mark Robinson, he's currently the front runner for the Republican nomination for governor in North Carolina.
Right, right.
And he's built this whole image around being, like, super socially conservative, tough on crime, you know, the type.
Yeah, I've heard him.
And he's especially outspoken when it comes to transgender rights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's what makes this whole thing so wild, because the investigative article we're unpacking today.
Yeah, what about?
Let's just say it kind of throws Robinson's carefully crafted image into, like, question.
Okay, lay it on me.
All right. So get this, one of Robinson's biggest talking points. It's his opposition to transgender rights. Like, we're talking strong opinions here. Even, like, suggested that transgender women should, like, be arrested for using women's restrooms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The article found all these old comments, and they're allegedly from Robinson, on this website called, get this, Nude Africa.
Hold up.
I know.
Nude Africa.
Nude Africa. And let's just say what he was doing on there doesn't exactly scream, you know, anti-trans. Yeah.
Like, really, really not.
So what are we talking about here? Give me the details.
So these aren't just like random one-off comments. I mean, the article really digs deep here. They found years of activity from this user on Nude Africa's message board. This guy mini-sold her. And it's not just about, you know, contradicting his stance on transgender stuff.
Right.
We're talking like some really disturbing views here on race. There are comments that seem to support, like, slavery, even using really derogatory language toward, like, Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
It's a lot to process.
That's a lot. And honestly, part of me was like, is this even real? Like,
Right.
Could this mini-solder character actually be the same guy who's now running for, like, the highest office in North Carolina? It's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah. Are we sure it's not like a fake account or something?
Right. Like, what if somebody's trying to, I don't know, sabotage his campaign or something?
Right.
Well, that's where the article, like, kicks it up a notch.
How so?
They basically go full-on detective.
No way.
Yeah. They lay out this whole web of evidence, and it supposedly connects mini-sold to Mark Robinson, like, definitively.
Okay.
And listen to this, they don't hold back on the specifics at all.
All right. I'm all ears.
It really makes you think about that whole the internet is forever thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing when you're talking about something as serious as, like, who's going to be the next governor?
Oh, absolutely. And especially in this case, right? Because Robinson, he's like staked his whole campaign on this image of, like, you know, he's a straight shooter,
Right.
morally uncompromising.
Yeah, like, what you see is what you get, that kind of vibe.
Exactly. So when you have this article come out and, like, totally contradict that narrative,
Right.
it throws everything into question.
And you know what's interesting? The article, like, it doesn't just stop at presenting the evidence, you know, like, here's the username, here are the details, make of it what you will. They actually go to Robinson for a comment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this is where it gets, let's just say his response was less than convincing.
How so?
Well, basically, he just denies everything.
Of course.
Yeah. The article quotes him calling it all, like, salacious tabloid lies.
The classic.
Right. And then he just dismisses all the details as, like, you know, minutia.
Minutia, come on.
Right. It's like, if it's all fake, why not come out with something stronger? Like some kind of proof that it's not you.
Exactly. It just makes you wonder what he's trying to hide.
Totally. And this is where the article takes, like, a really thought-provoking turn, I think.
Okay, how so?
Because it goes beyond just, like, the facts of this specific case. And it starts talking about, like, this bigger issue of politicians and their, like, hidden online lives, you know?
Right. Because it's not just politicians, is it?
Yeah.
Like, we've all probably said and done things online that we, like, kind of regret.
Oh, 100%.
Stuff we wouldn't want plastered on the front page of a newspaper.
Oh, God, yeah. If my old MySpace profile ever got out.
Right. But for, like, public figures, especially those who are, like, actively seeking power,
Yeah.
the stakes are just so much higher.
It's true. Like, where do we draw the line, right?
Exactly.
Like, is it fair to hold everything someone said online like 10, 15 years ago against them? Right.
Or is there like some kind of statute of limitations on digital dirt?
Yeah. And like, what about the fact that people evolve, right? What you said or did 10 years ago, online or offline, might not even be remotely close to who you are now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I know for a fact my music taste has gotten way better since like 2008.
Right. We've all had those cringe-worthy phases.
Totally.
But that's where it gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we might cringe at the thought of our, like, old live journal entries resurfacing.
Oh, my God. Don't even.
But we're not asking to be elected to public office.
Touché.
We're not building careers on this foundation of, like, moral authority and then getting caught, like, totally contradicting that online.
That's a really good point.
So it's like, how do we reconcile those two things? Right. It's almost like a philosophical question or something.
Totally. And it's one that I think we're all going to have to grapple with more and more as our lives like become even more intertwined with the digital world.
I don't know about you, but this whole thing is kind of stressing me out.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, are we really supposed to go back and like analyze every single thing a candidate has ever said online? Like, how deep are we really supposed to go?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where do you draw the line?
Right. Like, at what point does it stop being research and start being, I don't know, kind of creepy?
Yeah.
But then, like, on the other hand, don't we kind of have to take this stuff seriously?
I think it depends.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we should expect some level of like transparency from our elected officials, right?
Totally.
Especially if what they're doing online like directly goes against, what they're saying publicly, and especially the policies they're like trying to push.
100%. It's like if your whole platform is about like family values and tradition, maybe don't have a secret Tumblr account dedicated to like, I don't know, taxidermy and death metal.
Right. But I also think there has to be some like room for nuance. You know?
Yeah.
We live in a world where like anything you've ever said online can be like dug up and taken out of context.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm not sure it's always fair to judge someone's whole character based on like a handful of tweets they made a decade ago.
Yeah. Especially because, like you said, people change.
Exactly.
Like, what if there should be like a statute of limitations on this kind of stuff? Like digital dirt.
Right. That's a really interesting idea. Or like maybe it depends on how bad the offense is.
Right. Like some stuff is definitely worse than others.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not all created equal.
It's true. And like, who gets to decide that?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
It really is. This is heavy stuff.
It is. And it's something we're all going to have to figure out as we go,
Yeah.
right? Because technology isn't slowing down anytime soon.
Yep.
So we got to figure out how to balance like holding people accountable for what they say online
Yeah.
with also like recognizing that the internet isn't always a perfect reflection of who we are.
100%. So basically what you're saying is we're all doomed.
Well, I wouldn't say doomed exactly,
Okay,
but
good.
it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive. But honestly, I feel like we could talk about this for like another hour.
Oh, easily.
So, listeners, we want to hear from you. What do you think? How much does a politician's online past matter to you?
Yeah, tell us. Is it an automatic deal breaker, or are you willing to like look the other way if you agree with their policies?
Hit us up on social media, leave us a comment, send us a carrier pigeon, whatever you got to do. And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive.